This week on the podcast, it's all been leading to this. It's finally time for the ultimate battle as we commence the Pixel Picks Top 50 Showdown, as all entries in our definitive list will go head-to-head and ranked in order of greatness. We also share our initial thoughts on our epic journey with Assassin's Creed Shadows. All this and more on the Pixel Parents Podcast. Hello and welcome to the next episode of the Pixel Parents Podcast. The show that discusses all things gaming from the perspective of parents. I am your host, Liam Kelvin, and today I am of course joined by the bearded one, Scott, the taste maker. Curry, how are we, Scott?
Good evening, gamers. What's crack-a-lacking? We've been in the kitchen. We're cooking up some shit. We're fucking cooking dinner for everyone. I'm good. It's been a bit of a week, to be honest with you. So, you know, this is probably the most normal part of my week that there's been. So it's like, please take me here. But it's been a bit crazy. The wee one's not been well the whole week, so had her off nursery at home. And I can safely say I've watched every single episode of every single Barbie on Netflix that's ever been created.
Yeah.
And it's children watch some amount of shite, honestly. But apart from that, I've had quite a weird week in terms of the games that I've been playing, which we'll obviously get to. But how are you?
Yeah, same, to be honest. It's the bugs have landed, hence why we're having to do this away from each other. It's probably for safety, even though we're probably just going to pass the same bug back and forth at this point. It's just, I said this to you before we start recording, there's something about March, and I don't know what it is, but they need to start cleaning them schools because they are manky, and nurseries. It's just, I always say this, 2 days, not 1 day after, 2 days after, then send them in. Just days off favour, because I always curse that one parent that just chanced it and sent them in a little early, and it's like, oh, thank you for that gift. But same as you, obviously in the past week, we've had Assassin's Creed Shadows land, but it's not going to plan because of that. You just pulled away just because, one's sick and another sick, and it just keeps going round. And I don't like to taint these experiences, Scott. I like to keep them pure. I don't want to look back on these early days with a game I've been looking forward to, just thinking, am I going to chunder any minute? So I make sure I'm in the clear. But I have been playing
this whole experience has been tainted.
I know. Trust me, it's the association thing.
It's true. That is true.
That's why I haven't went back to play Like a Dragon, because I remember playing that, get down with a massive sickness bug, and I just thought, nah, the vibe's just not right there. If I play that again, it'll happen again. It's that's my superstitious brain. But we've got. This is a special episode. This is something we've been building to. This is our end game, effectively. Or no, it's our Infinity War. Put it that way, because end game's too final. It's our Infinity War. There will be some snapping of things out of existence, and there will be someone crowned at the top, the victor. And at the end of it, we can sit back and look upon a grateful universe, Scott, perhaps with the top 50 games.
I am about to be the most petulant idiot that there's ever existed. I'm not giving up any room for anything here, so let's just look forward to a future where Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games lives forever.
Well, we shall see. But before we get into it, I suppose we should get some housekeeping out the road first. So, of course, for those listening, this is the Pixel Parents Podcast, a weekly podcast by parents who game for those who do the same, where each week we discuss all things gaming whilst raising the little ones. If you want to be part of the podcast, come say hello and share your thoughts with us at pixelparents.bsky.social on Blue Sky, or write to us at pixelparentspodcast@gmail.com. If you like what you hear and you want to support the show, you can leave a 5-star review and share this podcast online with your friends. That really helps us out. And of course, thank you to everybody that continues to join us each and every week. So with all that out of the way, Scott, before I ask you what you've been playing this week, I think we also should
Oh, no.
add that we have actually been cooking stuff. We've been cooking stuff up, and there may be changes to this podcast coming. Just brace yourself, listeners, because it's exciting. But until that day, until the big announcements, just keep posted to our channels. With that out of the way, though,
We're coming out in 4D. You're going to be able to taste this soon through your headphones.
Jesus Christ, those poor listeners. So moving on swiftly, what have you been playing this week?
It's been a bit of a weird week this week, to be honest with you. I don't know why. It's, I felt the effects of the 4-game rule this week because in another life I would have bought Assassin's Creed Shadows and just been like done with it.
Yeah.
But I didn't. I was like, I refused to do it. I refused to make this one of the games that I buy this year because, I'm just not having that take space away from something that I really do want this year. So I've kind of been in like one of these holding pattern weeks where I've just been playing everything and anything that exists.
Yeah.
I've been playing a lot of Gumph. I tried to play Signalis again, and I just couldn't be arsed with it anymore. So, it's kind of like when you play Resident Evil in the past and you can't remember which way you've gone or which way you're going. It's like, nah, I'm done with you now. So, I finished off with that, which kind of led me down a weird path where I was like, do you know what? I'm going to try and stream a bit more. I've said this to you that I do want to make the Twitch streams a bit more of an event and try and do it sort of professionally as I can now. So I spent a good 6 hours this week just streaming Dead or Alive 4. Why Dead or Alive 4 and not a new game? Because, don't cater to the masses. Just play what you want to play. That's the whole point of
vibes
of parenthood and being a gamer is just choose what you want to choose and play what you want to play. So it was Dead or Alive 4. And I tell you what, an experience. Like going back to play a game from the Xbox 360, which has been, upscaled on the Xbox Series X. You've got all the bells and whistles attached to it and stuff as well. It looks like if you re-released this tomorrow and said it was Dead or Alive, the next Dead or Alive game, I'd be like, I think it's Dead or Alive 7. I'd be like, sound, that's good. Like it looks class. But there's some hell in that game. Like these kind of the arcade story modes in these games were brutal to begin with. I can't remember playing like Tekken 5 or Tekken 6 when you had to fight Jinpachi Mishima and you would get absolutely battered by him every single time, like the boss fight at the end, and he would honestly just take you everywhere, just absolutely batter you the whole time. And there's a sort of boss fight in this, the last fight in them. It's not for every single character, but some of the characters have got a character called Alpha 52, Alpha 152, and she's like a clone of one of the characters. I think it's Casimir or something. And my God, I was stuck on her for quite literally about 45 minutes with one fight. Like on Twitch, there was just one viewer watching me, like spurring me on the whole time. And I was like, see if he wasn't there, I would have given up. Easily would have given up. So it was like, if you're top 5 gaming moment of this year where you get to beat this fight, it was so good. And the raw footage from that stream, the sort of the VOD, if you call it that, is on our YouTube channel now. If you want to go and catch the end of that stream, you can go and have a look. It's brilliant though, but it's so good. Just going back to play some of these games, like that's the best thing about the Xbox and backwards compatibility is that it gives you access to all this nonsense. Like, so I spent a lot of time playing that, and then it just again, I just kind of come back to games that I want to play. So I've been scouring through like the PlayStation Store, the Xbox Store, Game Pass and stuff, and there's just nothing there right now that I want to be playing. Like 33 Immortals, I've had a few rounds at that as well, so that still sort of lingers on. But the game that I chose to continue on with, and it's just because I've had more time to myself, like with the wee one being unwell and being off with her, like she watches the TV, so I'm not just going to sit and watch Barbie with her. So I get the laptop out and I just start playing Onimusha 3 again, and I've just been making my way through that, and it continues to impress. Like I think it gets lost in the sauce of like Resident Evil and Devil May Cry and stuff, that Onimusha was fucking brilliant. Like,
Yeah.
it was so good. I actually hit a point in it. So one of the characters, so Jean Reno, Jacques, as you want to call him, he is getting married. His fiance is like a police officer in it, Michelle, I think her name is, and you play part of the game as Michelle, but she's just like regular person, no powers or anything. So she's got a gun, but you're just running around this old zoo shooting like weird dinosaur creatures. And I was like, I'm effectively playing Dino Crisis here. Like, effectively just playing Dino Crisis or
Not a bad
Resident
thing.
Evil in this bloody game. It's so good. Like, and it still looks great. I don't know if it's upscaled for whatever on this emulator or supposed emulator that I'm using, but it's just so impressive. Like, being able to go back and play these games without the price tag and without having to worry about, like, you know, the disc not working or something like that. It's brilliant. Like,
Yeah.
it's so cool. And then so I've got Onimusha 3 there, and I reckon I'll be finished that in the next few days. And then I think I'm just going to go on like a tour of old Scott Curry games
Nice.
from the PS2 era that I just want to go back through, because it's excellent. Like, it's nice to play something that doesn't require much thought. Like, sometimes it is just nice to play a game and not really think about what you're doing, because I've played Onimusha 3 a million times in the past, so I know the story beats, I know what I'm looking for, but it is just nice to get this appreciation of it, like, now. And obviously with Onimusha, the next one coming out in 2026, they're saying, so I'm ready for it. But it's just kind of biding my time now till May, when Onimusha 2 comes out on the PlayStation 5, and I'll get sucked back into that world all over again. So
Oh yes.
I'm
Not
buzzing
long.
for that. I can't wait for it. And obviously now, before you move on to your Assassin's Creed chat and stuff as well, I've also been really tempted by the new Xenoblade. Is
Oh
it
yeah.
Xenoblade Chronicles X or something like that? I was watching, or the Xenoblade, I can't remember what one it is, but it's
I'm sure
it's
if
the
you
one with
chuck an
mechs and
X in
stuff in
front
it.
of it, you're pretty close, to be fair.
It's one of them. It's one of them. But I have been really tempted to kind of buy it and jump into it. But I'm like, just bide your time. Like, I'm not buying anything more for the Switch. I know
Yeah,
they've got
yeah.
the Nintendo Direct tomorrow, as of recording, coming tomorrow. But it's kind of like, that's the most Nintendo thing that's ever happened, because why would you announce a Nintendo Direct a week before you're just going to show off Nintendo Switch 2 stuff? It's like the most, you've had weeks and like months to do this. Like, why is this week the most important part? But it's kind of like, if I'm going to buy anything, I'll just hang off for Switch 2 if I'm going to buy it. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
I mean, it's good to kind of touch on that, because I know next week we'll obviously be talking about that. I can't believe it's almost here. It'd be nice to see if there was some, like, what the backwards compatibility looks like, if there's going to be any improvements to the original Switch games. I know it's Nintendo, so I know I'm probably hoping for too much in regards to that. But yeah, you're right. It's only Nintendo could do that. I suppose there's a massive install base there with Switch users, so they're doing the right thing, not forgetting about them, and be like, look, here's some games coming for you, but we've got this new shiny thing. So if you want to play this on this, you know, very, very old AF paperweight, then be my guest. I'm buzzing for Switch 2, man. Like, honestly, I can't wait. I was actually just thinking about it. I'm like, today I was driving in the car and I was like, where do you actually pre-order the consoles from now? Because I think my default would have been the likes of Game, but just because I'm like, you know, they'll be in business. I can't really guarantee that now. I know Amazon, I don't really trust the drivers as far as I could throw them in some cases after the PS5 stuff, because that was the one that kept on coming up. People struggling with Amazon orders. So it's going to be like Game Collection and Shop 2 and stuff that I'll be looking at. So, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like Game Collection, Shop 2, Smiths, maybe, Curry's.
Oh, that's actually
potentially.
a very good shout, yeah.
I guess it's just scouring about and trying to find something that, you know, you're getting a good deal on, even if you can try and get money off it or something like that. Hot UK deals will usually see you right, but I think that the industry at large is kind of talking about June potentially as the release. So
feels right. Feels right.
Aye, it does. It feels about right.
You know,
But
bed it in, then build up a little bit of steam, some hype. I think if you do it at
Yeah.
Christmas, I think they're trying to avoid the shortage type thing as much
Hmm.
as possible. And I think they know, right, get the first wave of the saddles out the road ourselves, the people that will buy day one. And then at Christmas time, it's like, right, they've all got theirs. That gives them time to replenish the stock. And then it's,
Hmm.
the kids can start getting theirs. Um,
Aye, it's just ridiculous. Like we were watching the Mario movie today, and it was like I'm now ready for Mario Kart. I'm now ready for like the brand new 3D Mario,
oh,
whether
yes.
that's going to be Odyssey 2 or something completely different. Which by all accounts, Nintendo are likely going to do that, like
Yeah.
Mario's Woolly World or some pish like that. But it's just exciting. Like I've not got this burning hype for Switch 2 because
Mhm.
the Switch for me it's a luxury. It's a luxury console. Like it's
Mhm.
not going to be the main console. It's something that if there's really something on there I want to play, then I'll maybe buy it. But I still have this wee. Every single time I play something on Switch, there's always this wee doubt in my mind where I'm like, I just wish there was achievements on this. Like I just wish there was
Yeah.
something to mark the gameplay. Like I hope that there's something like that with Switch 2 where they put this in because it's just such an easy thing to do. Like it seems like it's just such an easy point to put into it. But ho hum, I am not
We shall see.
Nintendo. I
We
am
shall
not
see.
Mr. Nintendo.
Well,
Um,
all I would say is
aye.
people tune in next week. We'll be reacting to all that. I'm right saying yes next week.
Next week,
w-
Tuesday next week, that the show is.
yeah, so we'll be reacting to that on our episode next Friday. We won't do a pixel reacts. We'll just do it right after it on the Friday episode as normal, and we'll be approaching it from that perspective of parents as always.
Because
Like, what's stuff the kids?
this could probably be a conversation for after this episode. But
Hmm.
I'm going to let people, I'm going to let people understand the way that our minds work here. But would it not be a good idea to trial a Pixel Reacts with our new thing, like the new
Hmm.
stuff?
I mean, I'm game. I'm game. Let's what would you say? Let's take it offline. Let's take it offline.
Let's take it offline.
God.
That means no. That means no, ladies and gentlemen.
No, that means yes. I'm game. I'm game for that. I'm usually the person who's pushing the reacts anyway, so I'm happy to do that. We've got plenty of stuff to talk about anyway, but
Indeed.
I should also add. So this week, as I mentioned, it's been a very strange week. A lot of change. Scott, obviously, I have moved house as well, and I'm also going to be moving on to pastures new and the job front as well. Just decided, why not? Let's not do things by half measures. Let's just change literally everything in life at one go. So because of that, yeah, it's just been everything's just all up in the air. But there's been some good things. So I finally got my office set up just as the way I want it, which is good. But this is supposed to be a space to work, rest, and play. And the play part there is what I'm most excited about. So he says, I'm sitting here with my glow, my lights, and all that stuff, all the usual nerdy BS. And because I'm moving job, I'm going to have to change monitors. So I'm in the market now for a halfway decent monitor that I could slyly plug a PS5 Pro to, and I may have identified it. So I will report back on that because it was either
This
that
is
or
this is
something
the
else.
this is the step toward PC gaming for you.
No, 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 no. I was very, very much like in my hunt. It's like it has to be something for console gaming and for work. PC gaming is just something I will never get on board with. And it's not famous last words. It's just purely. I find it more of a hassle to do a mid-gen refresh.
Hmm.
Like I could not sustain refreshing every year when some new
Aye.
graphics card or chip or something comes out because I know what I'm like. So I'm like, no, I'm very happy. Everything's in the box. Beep on. That's it. And I know for some for PC purists out there, I know we always joke and all that. It's like I take my hat off to you. It's just not a race I'm willing to get in. I'm just lazy. I just like it simple. That's why
It's
I'm
true.
hyped about
Aye.
the Switch, and I love the PS5 Pro. And on that note, finally got a game that shows off the capabilities of that beast. I think it was only a few weeks ago we were sitting here talking about we've got that console and it just doesn't feel like there's anything there to really show it off. Well, I'm pleased to say I've been playing a game that does, and that's Assassin's Creed Shadows. And good Christ, Scott. I mean, if you were ever going to dip a toe in this game, I would say probably the best bet for you is actually to play it on Xbox just to get the Ubisoft Plus subscription, because you could play it for effectively 15 quid, which is great. It's a fantastic deal. I just wish it was on PlayStation. But man, this is every part a game. If you were to pay the full price £70 for it, you're walking away not feeling shortchanged. It looks glorious on a PlayStation 5 Pro. It's jaw dropping. Like, the Digital Foundry have done a fantastic analysis piece, as they always do. And usually, by the 3-minute mark, before they really start getting into the pixel counts and all that, and you start thinking that same sensation you get in an advanced math class back in the day at school, it's going over your head. Assassin's Creed Shadows is just a powerhouse on this thing. Like, I'm stunned at the world they've created. Like, Ubisoft, to be clear, my initial impressions, all I'm walking away thinking is they've cooked here. They've really created something special. The world, this feudal Japan, is absolutely stunning. And it's not just a case of there's a nice wee sunset. It's like the weather effects and the leaves and all that blowing about. Everything just feels living and breathing. The animations that they've done. You know me, I've played all these Assassin's Creed games to death, and I will be able to identify, and I have in the past, reused animations. I'm sitting there now and I'm like, they've really put the effort in. They've changed up the animations, they've changed up everything, the finishing moves, the gameplay. It doesn't feel like it did when you were playing Valhalla. And that's because just a few little tweaks have just shaken up the formula, particularly the exploration mode. I think if you're like me and you want to get the platinum, I think you're going to have to play it in exploration mode. You can do it in a classic mode where all the icons and that are available. But this way, it's just a simple press of L2, and it's just something that if you're ever in the world, it's like, what's around me? And if you're close enough, it will identify, and it's got like a scouting system as well. And
That's cool.
it's fantastic. So because of that, I'm finding that I'm playing it very differently to previous Assassin's Creed ones, or at least the previous 3, in the sense that I'm not just like running to the next icon, which I could do. I could change the setting. I'm actually just breathing in the world effectively. And I'm still in Act 1, so I'm still within that first 15 to 20 hours playing as Nawi, and I've probably extended that because it's like, oh, there's a wee shrine. Oh, look, there's a cat. I'm going to pet that. I'm going to take that back to my hideout, that type of stuff. Like, there's so much wee things. There's a skirmish going on. I'm going to step in. And I spent most of my time with Nawi as opposed to Yasuke. You do get a chance to play with him, and he's just a wrecking ball. But Nawi is every part the kind of dream assassin experience that you're kind of looking for. She's so nimble, so fast. Like, she's practically sprinting through the map. It's crazy. But I love that they've done that. And the fact that you can do things like going prone. It's just like, for some strange I'm like, oh, Metal Gear. I'm just like, I'm back there now. But it just adds that extra wee depth, and it's not as clockwork when I'm playing it. Say when I went to a temple yesterday, and I sat there, put it on for a wee hour, and I thought, I'm just going to take out this tempo. But it wasn't the same way. I can't use my eagle beforehand and just tag everybody. I've got to get in close. I've got to identify them. And I've got to really try and be emergent in the moment, effectively. And I think it will take time to kind of really get under the skin of it, to be like, right, I can go through this like clockwork. But the fact that it's asking me to engage my brain a little bit, hats off to them, man. And
Yeah.
I will say there's other things in there as well. Like, if you're a fan of that feudal Japan period, like if you were like a big fan of like Ghost of Tsushima or something like that, you owe it to yourself to play this game. They've nailed the respect element of it. Now, I know here in the West, there is a particularly within the gamer community, there's probably those that would probably, I would say, fetishize the Eastern culture aspect of things, particularly when it comes to Japan. But if that's your if that's your thing, then they have paid the respects to it, I would say. But it feels more like a game about feudal Japan than an Assassin's Creed game, which is good. The soundtrack is absolutely spot on, because obviously it's pure like samurai, which of course goes on to influence Western films later on. So if you're familiar with Western films, you'll be right at home here. It's just when they know how to use it so well, and it's building up a story which I'm like, right, it's a basic revenge tale, but it's intriguing enough to keep you going along. And there's a few characters in that they've introduced early on, which have got that little bit of levity and charm, seriousness, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, this is huge. I'm going to be here for a long time, and I'm so happy about it. But my final thoughts on it would be is that this is actually, if there's an Assassin's Creed game there that's going to get you in, this is the one. And I do mean that
This
because
is the one to do it.
I think there's just something about it, man. And it's like, you know, you played like Rise of the Ronin, you played Ghost of Tsushima, you enjoyed both of them. It's like this one here, to be fair to them, they've really created something special. I really do think that. Whether or not that will keep up over the next 50 to 80 hours, we'll see.
Well, that's the
But
difference in it. It's how they take it sort of longer term. How does it? I mean, it is something that, as I say, I'll consider it down the line. If I maybe fall into a game shop and one of the discs manages to get
Oh, no.
itself stuck in between my cheeks, then I might just walk out with it. But
Jesus.
how does it handle the usual Assassin's Creed like story bullshit, like
very,
the weird stuff, like
very
the stuff
well.
that nobody cares about, really?
I don't want to spoil it, but what they do is, without going into detail, they use it as a framing device at the very start, and they quickly be like, "That's it, like that's it," and then you're basically just going to spend your time in here. Whereas in previous ones, it was always like you had to go back. Even Valhalla had that issue. Like every 20 or so hours, it would just pull you right out of it. It's like, oh right, it's Animus stuff. They haven't. I'm assuming it's going to come up again at some point in the story, but they've made it very clear. It's like, oh, what are you doing? And that's it. So I'm like, I like the way that they framed it, and it's because it's still important to the franchise, the whole Animus piece and all that, but it's not the best part of it. So it's just set dressing. It's basically almost like you're in the Animus. That's effectively what they're going for, as opposed to you're going to be moving the character about in the Animus, like they did with Odyssey and Valhalla and Origins as well. Actually, I think was it Layla? I think it was. They were kind of telling a little story in there, and it did get really fucking weird towards the end of Valhalla. I have to admit that story part really weird. But it seems to be very minimal use of it, and you can see already that Assassin's Creed Infinite, I think it was, like whatever the hell that was, if it's still coming, they've got a version of this here, so it's effectively a launcher. You can start Valhalla from Shadows if you've got it installed.
Right,
like
okay.
me, so it's pretty cool. But I have to say, man, like despite all the apprehensions and the usual stuff, and you have seen it, like obviously, I have to say, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, but fuck Elon Musk. So he's just doing his usual pish on that ghastly social media site of his, and it's he's just getting served like absolute
It's
mockery by Ubisoft.
honestly the most fattening thing that I think I've ever read. Like genuinely putting on pounds of weight just reading this absolute turbo fucking virgin idiot be like getting absolutely taken down by Ubisoft.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it takes a lot. It takes the right person, the right set of circumstances, with the right reply for everyone to get behind Ubisoft as a company as a whole and applaud. Like
This is it.
It could have been anyone. Like if it was Sam Lake from Remedy who done it, I think like the world would end. But the fact that we've managed to unite as a people behind Ubisoft is almost beautiful. it's like Dr. Octopus at the end of No Way Home.
Yes.
Like, he's bad, but
The redemption
he's
arc.
doing some good. He's doing some good there. It's good to hear though. Like there's nothing worse than if you were to come on here and be like, yeah, I don't really dig it. Like I'm not enjoying it. I think that it's lost some of the charm that Assassin's Creed evidently had built up over time. So it is good to hear that.
Yeah.
And as I say, it's something that if someone wants to hit me in the head with a copy of it, then my head right here.
Listen, I do think, if you did happen to stumble in that game shop and you fell into a big stand of them, oh no, and you've walked out with it, I think you'll be in for a good time. But I would say not to force it. Only do it if you're in the mood for something a bit more open, because it's a dense game. It's not to the. I don't think it's quite like to Odyssey, where it's just like the whole of ancient Greece there, which I fucking love. There's nothing gives me more joy when you zoom out the map, like in Odyssey, and I was like, my God, it's actually fucking huge. But
that made me feel unwell. That made me feel uneasy.
this one, it's like, it's clearly a big map, but it doesn't seem that way when you're looking at it. I don't know what they've done,
Right, okay.
but it's clearly broken up into a few sections. I think it's probably more the size of Origins, if I'll be honest, which is still big, but it's doable.
Mhm.
It's not like pure overwhelming. And I say that as somebody that did every single thing in Origins and Odyssey and Valhalla. So, yeah, peak saddle. But I will continue to update yourself and all of the listeners as I progress. But I will make this promise now. I'm not going to bore you with it week to week. This is probably the most I'll probably update up until when I finish it, to be honest, because I'll just let things cook. And I'll still check out other things in between them. Of course, Marvel Snap updates will always happen. But I will not get into that now because I think, Scott, it's time. It's really time. It's time for us to get into things now. For the main bit of today's show. So,
the main course.
The main course. So, of course, it means that it's time for the Pixel Picks Top 50 Showdown. Well, we will decide and rank each game we've added on the hallowed Pixel Picks list, which is our definitive list of the best games we recommend to pass on to the next generation of gamers. So the rules here are simple for this one. Now, obviously, we're not going to be doing a pick this week. This is the one that's going to help determine the order, per se, of the top 50. And the rules, I said, are simple. So that all entries are going to be selected at random and put into a tournament format. So it's then up to both Scott and myself to determine which one will progress to the next round. And we'll then continue until a winner is crowned. And from there, we'll be able to quickly determine the official rank based on each showdown phase. So we're going to work our way back down to number 50. So all I'm going to say is settle in as we once and for all decide who comes out on top in this ultimate Pixel Pick Showdown. Now, probably a good way to start this off, Scott, is to recap the list if you'll indulge me. Okay.
Indulge you.
So I don't know if it's a lot of words here. 50 weeks. So we've got Best Platformer, Super Mario Odyssey, Fighting Game, Tekken 3, Superhero Game, Batman Arkham Asylum, Sports Game, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, Challenging Game, Hades, Stealth Game, Splinter Cell, Non-Mario Mascot Game, Metal Gear Solid 4, Solid Snake, Role-Playing Game, Baldur's Gate 3, First Person Shooter, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, or Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, should I say, Party Game, Mario Kart 8, Xbox Special for the OG Xbox, it was Halo Combat Evolved, the PlayStation 1 Special, Metal Gear Solid, of course, the Nintendo Special for the SNES, it was Super Mario Bros. 3, Adventure Game, The Walking Dead Season 1, Cinematic, The Last of Us, Immersive Sim, Dishonored 2, Hack and Slash, Devil May Cry 5, JRPG, Pokemon Gold and Silver, Puzzle Platformer, It Takes Two, Survival Horror, Resident Evil 2 Remake, Xbox 360, Gears of War, PlayStation 2, GTA San Andreas, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, 2D Fighting, Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Nintendo 64, The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time.
Do you want me to do the next 25 after you've done this one?
There you go. Take up from Soulsborne, please.
Soulsborne. So just in case you didn't hear me interrupting Liam, Nintendo 64 was The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. Then we had Soulsborne games, which was Bloodborne, Best Zelda game, The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. Football, not Hand Egg, was Pro Evolution Soccer 5. Best co-op game, Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. Best wrestling game, WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2006, a classic.
Mm-hmm.
Halloween game, Until Dawn. Cozy game, Stardew Valley. Peace out.
Yep.
Best romance game, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Best remastered game, Halo Master Chief Collection. Game of the Year winner game, yeah, The Last of Us Part 2. Best free-to-play game, that's a mouthful. Best free-to-play game, Rocket League. Best PS3 game, Orange 2. Best DS game, the GTA Chinatown Wars. Best comedy game, South Park Stick of Truth. Hero first-person shooter, Overwatch, obviously. Arcade Racer, Burnout 3. Best Xbox One game was Sea of Thieves. Stealth horror game was Outlast. Japanese tactical RPG was Triangle Strategy. Life sim game, Animal Crossing New Horizons. Best 3DS game was The Legend of Zelda, A Link Between Worlds. Best 100-hour game was Red Dead Redemption 2. Best card game, we had Alex with Balatro. which they put out a video recently telling you how to say it.
Belutro,
Didn't
whatever it
watch
is.
it. I'm not abiding by that law. Best PS4 game was God of War 2018, and then for the best action RPG game, we had Cyberpunk 2077, and that, ladies and germs, is 50 weeks
Yeah,
of picking games
yeah, and
with the most convoluted titles on earth.
yeah. I mean,
Themes, genres. Aye.
we've got plans here to put something out there so that it's a much more accessible list. But that's if there's 50 games somebody was to hand you, says they're the only ones you could ever play. You're gonna have a good time. You're gonna have a good time with all the.
I mean, yeah, you're gonna be playing Super Mario Odyssey for a while anyway, so you'll be there for a long time.
I know, and there's a few in there from like I think from the same series. I mean, obviously Nintendo's got a good presence in there. There's a
Metal
good
Gear
mix
Solid is a
between.
good. I managed to get Metal Gear Solid 1, Metal Gear Solid 4, and the fact that I've not got Metal Gear Solid 3 in there yet is disgusting.
I know,
But
but what did we have
we'll
for
get there
PlayStation?
eventually.
GTA San Andreas came out in the PlayStation 2 one, just fair enough. I mean, Last of Us has got two, part one and two in there. Legend of Zelda's got
Mhm.
3 entries. It's a pretty robust list. And there's a couple in there which I know looking at it, it's like, man, you're Scotland in this tournament, you're going to get put out of the group stage already. But what we should say on that, because it is 50 and because of the tournament bracket, we need to get this down to 48 just to kind of make sure that this works out. Now, if we've done our math correctly, that means that we should have a nice even amount of rounds as we go in, because we've done a few simulations and this is all done at random, so we do not know who's going to be up against who. So it is going to be merciless. There might be some very painful early rounds, but that's just the luck of the draw, folks. We're here to determine the best one out of the lot, and of course we can then rank from there. And we'll try go quickly because we're conscious we're 35 minutes out of this podcast already, so we don't want to kind of go too over because we could be here all day. So to make sure that it gets to 48, what we've decided is that both Scott and I will have one veto that we can pick in the opening round. So that's just one game each from that top 50 list. No questions asked, that we can basically say, let's just take them out. Now, I am just going to keep vamping here while Scott peruses that list, and then he's going to tell us what one is his veto, and then I will follow up and do the same. What I should say is I'm going to approach this as a gentleman, Scott. So I'm not going to just try and seek out ones that you've picked or that Alex have picked. I'll try my best.
I love how you're saying this, but the eye is immediately drawn to Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. And see if the veto was you cannot pick that. I'd be putting that on there because I want it to last as long as it can.
Yeah.
But for
Listen.
me, the game that I'd like to veto, and it is just purely because I don't think I was happy about it being on the list in the first place, was Outlast.
Outlast, okay, interesting.
I don't want Outlast on the list. It was between that and Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, but as an experience, I think that Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes deserves a place on the list, whereas I think Outlast is absolute shite. So come at me, Outlast fans.
I'm in between two here, but because I was originally thinking Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, but it is actually a fantastic experience. And it pains me to say, Scott, but I think I'm going to give a mercy kill here to SmackDown versus Raw 2006 because I just don't see it surviving past that initial round.
You're very good. It's a very good point.
Yeah,
I think that I looked at it and it could have been any SmackDown versus Raw at that point, but I put 2006 because I believe there was something that changed on there. But you know what? It's one of your games and one of my games, so I think that's only fair.
And what would we say would be better? Would we say SmackDown or Outlast is better? What one takes number 50? What one takes number 49?
I think Outlast is 50.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And SmackDown versus Raw is 49.
Yeah, SmackDown 2006. I'm going to be making notes as we go here, but now we've got the 48. I'm not going to recap them all. We're just going to go straight into this. The beauty is that Scott cannot see the generation as this happens. Now, I can, of course, share the screen with you, Scott, if you want to see that.
Nah, it's more fun. It's more fun if I don't know.
Like a wee surprise, because
it is.
We'll do that. So we're going to do it now. We're going to hit the button, the big magic button to create that tournament bracket, and we'll get straight into it. Okay. Oh, good Lord. Right. Jesus. So, how do you want to do this? We can either go one by one, or we can just go through the entire round one and then just go back to the top. What would be better for you? Let's just go one by
What
one.
works better in terms of audio
I think
value?
just one by one. So, round one here. And the first one and round one, we have participant one, Triangle Strategy versus The Last of Us, Scott.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
It's already getting juicy because, like I say, this is merciless, man. Merciless. I'm not looking too far down because I'm not wanting to try and prejudge this. So, Triangle Strategy versus Last of Us. Who should progress to the next round? For me, it's easy. It's The Last of Us.
Oh, this is like that picture. It's like Wesley Snipes crying when he's got that gun in his hand. It's like,
exactly.
Oh, God.
I'm not happy about it because Triangle
I'm
Strategy is a
genuinely-
phenomenal game, but I can't sit here and get all good conscience say it's better than The Last
It's
of
not
Us.
better. It's not better than The Last of Us, and that's the point. But in my heart,
You're not happy about it.
Triangle Strategy. A Triangle Strategy wins that. But yeah, The Last of Us.
Okay, so
There
The
you
Last
go.
of Us goes through into the next round. So, second one here, we've got The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt versus Animal Crossing New Horizons. Now, interesting one. Two very, very different games we've got here, but
Yeah.
both equally phenomenal in their own right. Now, it's down to us to decide which one progresses. Now, I mean, cards on the table, Scott. I mean, I've got the grey hair, everything. Witcher 3.
Just get it. You just get it all over.
But
It's a tough one. It is a tough one. I don't have the nostalgia and the love for Animal Crossing that I think you do.
Yeah.
I think that you played it for as kind of far longer than I. If this was Stardew Valley versus The Witcher, I would honestly, this would be the longest episode on Earth because I wouldn't be able to give it up. But I think I'm happy with The Witcher. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt it felt like it created this shift in the way that games were made, and obviously with CD Projekt Red, it was like, I remember watching the trailers for that game and being like, Jesus Christ, like it was outrageous how good it looked.
It was.
And still to this day. So yeah, I'm happy with that one. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt.
I think
get it on the list.
I'm with you on that, and I have to fight my own nostalgia on that because I think Animal Crossing New Horizons was a moment in time. For sure, it was a special game. It was one of the best kind of cozy experiences you can get, but I have to put that to one side. And subjectively, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is just, like you said, it's more influential. It changed the game. I think, there's a time before that game and after it.
Even when you look at Animal Crossing as a whole, though, like it kind of, those initial months, they were supported really well. And then it just kind of felt like Nintendo forgot about the game. Like,
it's true.
It's just almost like, on you go. Like, what now? Like, there's nothing new to do. So,
It's fallen on the silver
Cool
sword of Geralt of Rivia. So The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt progresses into round 2. So the third one, and there's a few in the first round, so we can breeze through these first ones, but there's a few doozies I can already see here. Jesus Christ. So the next one we've got Resident Evil 2 Remake versus Pokemon Gold and Silver. Now, of course, for context, I think Pokemon Gold and Silver was the best JRPG game on our list. Resident Evil 2 Remake, that must have been, that was actually best survival horror. So it's two big juggernaut genres going against each other here early on in this tournament. I ain't going to lie, like it's tough because I know that I'm going to say Pokemon Gold and Silver. However, I cannot demerit the achievement of Resident Evil 2 Remake because that has been so influential in terms of how survival horror games have been crafted now. It set a new bar. It really did. Even though I'm a shite bag and I haven't played that game, I appreciate, having watched your fine self play it, what it's done. It's a really tough one.
It's a really tough one. Like, I don't have the love for Pokemon. That was obviously your decision to put Pokemon as that one. So, it definitely wasn't my choice.
What a pick, though. What a pick.
No, it's a great pick. It's.
I think you're going to have to tie break this one because I'm, as the man that has played both more, you'll have the swaying vote here, I think, Scott.
I don't think I've played Pokemon more though. I really don't. Like I think that you're the Poke nerd here. I don't know.
What one is
Go
a
for
better
Pokemon.
game? Pokemon.
Go for Pokemon.
Pokemon Gold, Silver. You'll go through.
If it was
Resident
Evil 2, if it was Resident Evil 2,
on its
and
own.
that was it, not remake, then I would be fighting the corner for it. But I think that, and it's there's an anniversary for Soul Silver and Gold, so yeah.
I've just.
I could just see you reacting here, and I'm scared.
Oh, this next one, Jesus Christ! This may set people on fire, including myself. This is it, man. This is already the first heavyweight v heavyweight one. So we've got in the next round here, Super Mario Odyssey versus The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Jesus Christ Almighty! Why did we pick both these games? I'm already regretting it. We should just pick loads of shiter ones and one really good game to make this easy. Oh man, this is hard.
The scary part is that one of these games goes and doesn't come back. It doesn't come back in like a loser's bracket.
We do have a chance to rank these, but these will feature lower in the ranking as a result. Each one that loses will guarantee themselves further down that list. I mean, that is to say, we don't necessarily have to rank them all. We could just do the ultimate showdown, but I think it would be fun to do that based on this tournament. I don't know. Like Super Mario Odyssey is, depending on your age, you could say that's the best Mario game of all time. Others it could be Galaxy, others it's Super Mario Brothers 3. Odyssey's a tremendous game. The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, on the other hand, it really is. It's something else. It's mythological, I'd say. Almost. I'm swaying towards that.
I mean, I think it's the easy choice, to be honest with you. I think that if we look at them objectively, the impact of Ocarina of Time alone, you know, is felt through every single Zelda game that's been made since. So, let's just put it down, but don't look back.
Okay, we're going for the favourites, folks.
Cry on the way home. Cry on the way home when you're doing it.
That's it.
I'm sorry, Mario.
What have we done? We've just relegated you to the bottom places. So, Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time goes into round 2. So the next one here, it's a lot easier. We've got Burnout 3 versus Baldur's Gate 3. It's not even a discussion.
Is it easier though?
It's obviously Burnout 3.
Yeah, it's Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, it's obviously. I mean, if Burnout 3 had random shagging, then I'd maybe give more of a fight towards it. But
maybe a cheat code or
Baldur's
something.
Gate 3. Aye, well maybe that's it. Aye, that's a weird game. The Baldur's Gate 3 was and still is, one of the best games of this generation. So it's hard to see past it.
Yeah, really did. Baldur's Gate 3 is definitely going to be a Real Madrid type participant in this tournament, I'd imagine. But
it's one of those. Do you see with Baldur's Gate 3? Sorry to derail us for a minute. Mm-hmm. It's like, when you go to like museums and it has games that have like been played over time and stuff. You can imagine like a Baldur's Gate 3 being there. Do you know what I mean? Like even now, like in 20, 30 years time, you walk into a museum and it's just like Gale standing there like, my man.
I mean, there's few games that come along like that seem to cross cross through past the hardcore gamers. And it's when I go into like my PlayStation or my Xbox and I see people play Baldur's Gate 3 that I know aren't the hardcore gamers. And it's like, right, okay, they've done something here. It kind of feels like it's this generation's Skyrim moment, I suppose.
Yeah.
But obviously Baldur's Gate 3 is a much better game than Skyrim, so it helps. So yeah, we'll move on to the next round quickly. So next round, we've got The Walking Dead Season 1 versus Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. What's your thought on that one?
That's quite tough.
That's a tough one.
I'd have to put The Walking Dead.
It pains me to say it, but I'd have to agree. Just because of impact and what I managed to do narratively, I think it's probably a better all-round experience. And also, Keep Talking Nobody Explodes. It's very niche, so I can't really rank that too highly. I think it's a Walking Dead season 1. Yeah, let's put that into round 2. So we've got the next. We've got Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic versus The Last of Us Part 2.
You're going to have to stand up for Star Wars because I don't have the experience with it. I've played an hour of it.
I think Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is a tremendous game. Really is. I mean, but I have to say, it's aged like ass, but it's also, if I take away what happens in that game, it probably gets docked a few points. The Last of Us Part 2, I think gameplay wise is better, and narratively it's much better. And I think what it did in terms of making the player reckon with your own actions in the way that it did, it's a very, very special game. And it wasn't afraid to say fuck you to the fans in a way and really push you out your comfort zone and make you face up to that. It's such a special game. I could go on about it forever, but I won't because we've not got all day. So we're in agreement. Last of Us Part 2 in the next round.
Yep.
Okay.
The internet's going to come for you though. You know this.
They might, but let them come for me. I'm not afraid. I'm a wee bit, but no. So next round we've got Street Fighter 2 Turbo versus Halo Combat Evolved.
Oh, fucking hell. Talk about like two games that really personify both of us. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I know. One had completely reshaped the fighting scene and had completely made fighting games a must. Even though the Turbo, I'll look at it as the general all under the bracket of Street Fighter 2, right? As opposed to just Turbo. Street Fighter 2 was just like the game. You went into somebody's house and it's like, you want to play Street Fighter. But then again, you look at Halo Combat Evolved, which effectively did the same for that social experience, just for a different generation with like LAN parties, and then obviously what that had then spiraled into. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. I think I'm going to go. For me, I feel that Street Fighter 2, just because it had a much harder gig in terms of kind of making video games accessible.
At the time it came out as well.
Yeah.
And the fact that to this day, the impact is still felt. Yeah. But, on another breath, it could have been easily Halo because and you know what? I don't feel bad about it because there's another Halo game on this list, so go fuck itself.
There you go.
Go die in a corner, Halo.
Okay, so Street Fighter 2 Turbo, you progress to the next round. Next one, this is a doozy. It's Gears of War versus Bloodborne. This is great. I love how this is random.
I can't do it on the 10 years anniversary eve. The day after. I cannot do it to Bloodborne. Bloodborne as a whole, as an experience, is considerably better than Gears of War. But
yeah, I'd have to agree.
Gears of War is so good though. Like, give it its flowers.
It is, yeah.
I still feel for Gears of War.
Oh man, like, it's such a tremendously influential cinematic game of what it did, Gears of War, but I'd be lying to myself. Bloodborne's a better game. Much better. It's more special at the end of the day.
Yeah.
For me. But it's your tournament, we get to vote who goes through. So
yes.
Move on to Bloodborne. Bloodborne, we're into the next round. Of course, guys, don't get raging about it. We're having fun. It's just a subjective thing. But yeah, this is interesting. We'll see what else it chucks up at us now. So we'll go move into the next one, which is Rocket League versus Tekken 3.
Tekken 3. Every single minute of every single day for me. I'm sorry, I love Rocket League for the social experience that it gave us.
Yeah.
But Tekken 3 is formative. So good. Like,
do you know what?
Aye.
I'm not going to disagree. I'm sure also you heard my dog going for the longest drink of all time in the background there. But yeah, it's Tekken 3. Rocket League, I love you, but the thing is, it has a bit of it can get rich quickly. Whereas Tekken 3, you can shake it up more, and easy to play, difficult to master. Both of those games actually, but I feel Tekken 3 just has a little bit more depth to it. Holy Christ! So we move on to the next one. This is the round already that will break Scott Curry, people. So just enjoy the sound of silence because there's going to be tears after this one. So we have Metal Gear Solid versus Metal Gear Solid 4.
They're both the same game, effectively, like almost identical in terms of structure and the way that they're made, and intentionally so. Where you have Octopus, Raven, Mantis, and everything. So it's basically the same game.
I mean, I'll make this easy, right? I think it's Metal Gear Solid just because it walks through like a run,
It's Metal Gear Solid. I'm just trying to come up with an argument that I could potentially make for 4, but I don't think it's there. I think if we're looking at a game that could last longer on this list and deserves its place higher up in the list, it's Metal Gear Solid.
That's it. And ultimately, the highs of Metal Gear Solid 4, you can't have them without Metal Gear Solid.
Nah.
It's the complementary piece. It's the
Metal Gear Solid 4 had Drebin and a wee monkey in it.
And I still love the Beauty and the Beast unit. I thought they were fantastic.
Great. They were great, especially when you didn't kill them initially and they did a wee dance for you. That was cool.
Very true. Laughing octopus and stuff. But yeah, we'll move on to the next one. Good one here. Hades versus Devil May Cry 5. I mean, for me, it's Hades.
Of course, it's Hades.
I mean,
it is Hades.
I've played very little of Devil May Cry 5, and I'm still in the challenge of that. But even from what I've played, I'm like, it's Hades. Like it's
wait till you get into a bit further of it. But no, Hades is as an experience as a whole, it was surprising how much and how well it done for me. Like I was kind of like, well, this is good, and then I immediately like fell in love with the thing and couldn't stop playing it for as long as I did. But Hades is the winner.
Hades, you're into round 2. Well done. So we're on to Lucky 13 here, which is Uncharted 2 versus GTA Chinatown Wars.
Oh fuck! Put it down immediately. Chinatown Wars. You were loved. You were lost. Uncharted 2. You deserve your place into round 2.
Yeah, I can't disagree. Yeah, you fought the good fight, Chinatown Wars, but yeah, you're still in the top 50. Next one, we've got It Takes Two versus GTA San Andreas.
Don't say anything bad about It Takes Two because Joseph Fares will come and stab you.
I mean, yeah.
But no, it's San Andreas.
Of
course, it's San Andreas.
All day long. It Takes Two, we love you. But yeah, San Andreas. Man.
If San Andreas isn't top 10 on this list, then we're doing this wrong.
Depends who they come up against in the next round, Scott.
I know, still, we're doing this wrong.
So we've got this one. Next one's pretty meaty one. Batman Arkham Asylum versus Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare.
It's a tough one for you. To be honest with you, I would easily put my hat on Arkham Asylum because I don't feel the impact of Modern Warfare 4, but I'd love to get your.
It's very
thoughts.
Cut and dry for me. It is Arkham Asylum, which is one of my all-time favourite games. Like, no question. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, I very much appreciate what it had did for, multiplayer shooters and first-person shooters, but it's, there was a time before and after it, but I think there's a time before and after Batman Arkham Asylum, and it's a much better game. Like, that's basically it. If I'm recommending one at the 2, I'm saying play that all day long. So, yeah, Batman Arkham Asylum. You go out the madhouse and into round 2. Next one here, probably the easiest round we've got here, Scott, which is Mario Kart 8 versus Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games.
How fucking dare you? How dare you?
No, I dare.
It had to come up against Mario Kart 8 as well. That's an absolute fix. I'm calling Trump votes. This is invalid ballots. Do the recount.
Stolen.
Yeah,
stolen.
It's a stolen win. But if you want to put Mario Kart 8 through, then do it.
I have to, Scott. I can't in good conscience put Mario Sonic
This is going to be
games at round 2.
this is going to be the heel turn now. I'm going to turn heel on this podcast. I am now John Cena on this podcast. This is all your fault, listeners. Every single one of you. This is all on you.
The next round will give you ample opportunity here, which is Halo Master Chief Collection versus Stardew Valley.
Halo can get itself right to fuck. Every single minute of that game, piss off. Stardew Valley is the gift that keeps on giving. I'm so sorry. Halo fans out there, Xbox fans out there, if you're listening, fair enough. But no, there is not a world that exists in this universe, in this multiverse, in this fucking entire plane of existence that Stardew Valley is not beating Halo Master Chief Collection. It's not happening.
If this was Halo Combat Evolved here, I'd be sitting arguing. I would be sitting arguing because I do think that is a better game than Stardew Valley. However, Master Chief Collection is a very different
I would
proposition.
Be putting a small kid on blast right to his face.
I'm telling you, I hate to say it though, Stardew Valley's obviously a tremendous game, but it's this is kind of like me with Animal Crossing. I've got to take that out of the equation, but I can't in good conscience say Master Chief Collection is better than Stardew Valley. As odd as it is, even though I'm like saying I'd argue for Combat Evolved, but that's very different. They're two very different things. Master Chief Collection, it's something I think it's like, just have it there. It's, it's worth playing just to kind of understand if you're into it. Go for it. It's still a fantastic package. But yeah, Stardew Valley, you're into round 2. Next one here, we've got Pro Evolution Soccer 5 versus Super Mario Brothers 3.
PES 5. It was lovely to know you. It really was.
How very dare you? This is my heel turn.
Take your Castolo, shove it up your ass. Get fucking Super Mario Brothers 3 straight through.
No,
of course it's going through.
I can't pretend it's not Super Mario Brothers 3, but I do have to give a shout out to PS5 because it was just
of course
absolutely fantastic. But yeah, Super Mario Brothers 3, no brainer. You're into the next round. Speaking of which, we've got another one here, which is Overwatch versus The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Actually, quite a tasty tie. This quite a tasty tie.
Aye, it depends on how you view it.
I mean, for me, I'm going to say Tears of the Kingdom, but
I can't see past Tears of the Kingdom. I think that Overwatch, objectively, is a great game, but I don't think you can see past how fucking dirty they've done it with Overwatch 2.
Yeah, I mean, for me,
and that does factor into the thought process.
For me, it's going to be really difficult when it comes down to the splitting hairs to recommend something that's just multiplayer over that single player experience as well.
Yeah.
And Tears of the Kingdom is it's so special. It really is. I know there's been a lot of like TikToks and stuff like that about it of late. You will also be able to hear that's my tortoise behind me going off his nut, and he's trying to escape. Let me see what I can do about that. Hold on, Scott. Just tell the listeners why Tears of the Kingdom is special for a second. Whilst I go sort of
why it's so special. Tears of the Kingdom is a very special game. It's you're put into the shoes of a character named Link, and you're having to go and find the tears of a kingdom. You have a sword, and you get given a shield, and you get to learn all about the things that happen with Link and and the friends that you make along the way. And you do find those tears, and it's really truly a special experience.
I'm pretty sure I did hear you say it's special because you got tears in a kingdom. So we'll move swiftly on at that point.
I can't remember. I can't even remember what happens in it. That's the fucking bad part.
Well,
played it for about 80 hours non-stop, but can't remember what happens apart from the big thing that happens. But
I think the fact that managed to get you in where Breath of the Wild couldn't says a lot. But we'll move on. So the next one we've got here is Sea of Thieves versus Until Dawn, a friendly tie for both of them, I would say. It's a tough one, but in fact it's not. I would say it's Until Dawn for me, rather than Sea of Thieves.
I would probably fight that if I'd played Sea of Thieves more, but the fact that I think it's just purely because I've only played maybe like an hour of Sea of Thieves that I could never make an argument for it. So Until Dawn,
I was so tempted to just go full Anthony Hopkins and Thor there, when but you'd not played it enough yet. So Until Dawn, we'll move into round 2. And we have here, I've realised that I have we've ballsed up the tournament format already, but so I'm going to amend that in a second. So next one here is Dishonored 2 versus South Park Stick of Truth.
Dishonored 2, probably.
A man of class. Man of class, man.
I mean,
man of
I've
taste.
played, again, I probably played as much of that as I did Sea of Thieves, but I think that South Park is funny because it is a South Park episode in game format, whereas Dishonored 2 takes everything that you know and love about Dishonored 1 and manages to amplify it. Or so I'm told.
Well, it's a tremendous game. I would recommend it to everybody and anybody. Now, because of the way that it works out, it means that Splinter Cell automatically gets a lucky winner progression into round 2.
Regardless, if that had come up against anyone, Splinter Cell would have won.
Yeah, I'd probably argue that as well, especially if it was something, like Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. So, we're now into round 2 then, Scott, which has 11 ties within there, some tasty ones already. So, we're going to kick things off, Jesus Christ, with the first one in round 2, which is The Last of Us. That tortoise is absolutely gone off. It's not. The Last of Us versus The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt.
Holy balls.
That's a tough one. That is a tough one.
That is a brutal one.
A doozy.
I've only finished one of them, so it's really difficult to make a decision on which one I would choose. I'm also, vamping here because Liam is tending to the tortoise, but I think the fact that I've only completed one of them and the impact that it had, The Last of Us.
Yeah, I mean, these are probably two of my own personal favourite games ever. It's really tough. It's really tough
because in another breath, I could have said, the world that The Witcher 3 inhabits, the monsters and stuff, the relationships that you build with all the characters, Gwent, the different areas that you go, that journey to Skellige when you first make it, it's like, oh my god, like there's another area and it's completely fucking different. It's incredible. Geralt as a character, shagging everything that moves is great. Whereas in The Last of Us, you don't do that. You just you scud people in the head with bricks, and it feels great. Like it feels so good, but you also then get the emotional story that's attached to it. You get the characters, Ellie. You've got Joel and stuff like that as well. So it's like it's a tough one, but I think what it comes down to for me is personal impact and the emotional impact that it's given me, and as an experience as a whole, I think that The Last of Us has offered me more than The Witcher 3 in that regard. But I think The Witcher 3 is a better game.
The only thing, I think The Witcher 3 is a better game than The Last of Us when it comes to narrative, and it's going up against what isn't the best game in that series.
Yeah.
For me, because The Last of Us isn't the best Last of Us game, and
The
Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. And I know I'm trying to be as subjective as possible because you're talking to the nerd here that's read the Witcher books and stuff like that as well. But I think that as a better game, you're not going to go wrong either way with this. But you're right. It's in terms of the emotional impact of The Last of Us, that can't go understated. It's a tough one. It is a really tough one.
Right. I've changed my mind. I'm going for The Witcher. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is my decision on this because it makes too much sense. And I think that it feels better in my mind that The Witcher 3 sits higher than The Last of Us.
I would agree. I think it's just because The Last of Us Part 2 is obviously in round 2, and that is the better of those two games. And for it to kind of, The Last of Us to displace The Witcher 3 in this tournament, I know it shouldn't come down to that, but I'm like, well, if it was The Witcher 3 versus The Last of Us Part 2, it'd probably be the other way about. But for me, Yeah, I'd say The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is better than The Last of Us. As much as this pains me, it's a very, very painful round. So yeah, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt then progresses into round 3. Excuse me whilst I go sort of this again. Before I do, let's see what the next one is, which is Pokemon Gold and Silver versus The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
You can put your headphones off. I'll speak to the fans. So Liam has his headphones off, and Pokemon isn't winning this bullshit. It's absolutely not happening. I don't think there was any doubt in that matter. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time is, without doubt, probably one of the best games of all time. And Pokemon Soul Silver and Heart Gold, whatever it is, doesn't even hold a fucking candle to it. So, I don't agree with it. But whilst he's not got his headphones in, how you doing? But yeah,
I could hear every single word.
He's back again, like the Renegade Master. Yeah, I think I've made my plea. It's Ocarina of Time.
I agree with you. I agree with what you were saying. I can't in good conscience put Pokemon over Ocarina of Time. I think there would be people cancelling us online if we did that, which I don't want. I don't want that. So we'll move on swiftly to the next one.
Not over this anyway.
Not over this. So the next round we've got Baldur's Gate 3 versus The Walking Dead Season 1.
Oh, fucking the easiest decision ever.
Yeah.
It's Baldur's Gate 3.
It is. It's we might start to see some of the cream rising to the top here, but it does get more difficult next round. Next round, we've got The Last of Us Part 2 versus Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
Aye, it's The Last of Us Part 2, probably.
It's The Last of Us Part 2. I will.
I'm not happy about it though. I'm really not happy about it.
I will fight the Street Fighter. It's like one. Let's throw hands. But The Last of Us Part 2 is a remarkable game. I'm also looking at things here just now. Has there been some games? I'm looking at the actual Pixel Picks list. I'm like, has there been some games that have been missed out? I don't think there has been.
Let's see. I'll go down the list.
Oh wait, there is.
Balatro, Red Dead Redemption 2, Cyberpunk.
Oh, good grief. So we can do that in our own round actually just now. So the ones that have been left out right at the bottom here. Red Dead Redemption 2 versus Balatro and God of War versus Cyberpunk 2077.
Red Dead Redemption 2
Mm-hmm.
and Cyberpunk.
Okay. Red Dead Redemption 2 and Cyberpunk. Okay, we'll keep a note of that as we go.
And the Balatro fans and God of War fans are raging.
Jesus, that's a hard one. Yeah, so we'll keep things moving. So yeah, we've got here next round, which is Bloodborne versus Tekken 3.
Oh fuck! Two of the the core games that have made me. Bloodborne.
Okay, here we go.
Again, I'm not happy about it though. Kazuya Mishima is not happy.
Okay, so we've got next here, which is Metal Gear Solid versus Hades. I'm going to say Metal Gear Solid though, like
it's in terms of cultural impact.
Yeah,
it's definitely Metal Gear Solid, but Hades, you deserved it. You deserved it, mate. So sorry.
But we'll move on swiftly, which is Uncharted 2 versus GTA San Andreas.
Oh, that's not nice.
I'm going to have to say San Andreas, even though this is a list to pass on to the next generation of gamers. I think San Andreas just has that sauce over Uncharted 2, as much as I love Uncharted 2.
I agree.
Okay. Next one here, and we're starting to fizzle on nicely, which is good. This is what we want. Batman Arkham Asylum versus Mario Kart 8. That's a hard one.
Mario Kart 8 for me.
I was going to say Arkham Asylum. I really do. I think
if you made the mistake of reminding me why we do this list.
You bastard. I suppose so, but then we do have games like Bloodborne and Metal Gear Solid and all that progression. So I mean, it's next generation, not to kids.
But
So
still, Mario Kart 8 is a phenomenon. Like,
yeah, do you know, I think I'm willing to accept that because it is, you're talking about two tens here.
mhm.
Mario Kart 8 is some game. So we shall move on to the next round, which is Stardew Valley versus Super Mario Brothers 3.
Oh no! Oh no! I'm gonna have to do it. Super Mario Brothers 3.
is the correct answer.
It pains, honestly, it pains me to say it.
Mhm.
If it was any other game again, I would have easily argued the point. But Super Mario Brothers 3 is my favorite Mario game, so
Okay.
easy choice.
Excellent. So we'll move on because I have no notes on that at all because I'm like, if we were to say otherwise, we'd probably get lynched. So let me see. We've got the next round here, which is Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom versus Until Dawn. My God, it's just
Easy choice.
lamb.
Tears of the Kingdom takes it
Yeah,
in a landslide.
it's lamb to the slaughter there, isn't it? Almost feel bad for Until Dawn. We do apologise. That's just the way the tournament works. And we have here Dishonored 2 versus Splinter Cell.
Splinter Cell.
Mm,
He's not happy about it.
I'm not because I think Dishonored 2 is a better
Audio
game.
listeners he's trying to come up with a point to raise on this, but
Well, the point is simple. Dishonored 2 is a better game than Splinter Cell.
aye, but it was also made like 10 years later.
Yeah, but that
It's had the benefit of taking the lessons that Splinter Cell made. Do you know what I mean? Like
yeah. I
it's learned
suppose.
from what Splinter Cell taught it, like the stealth systems, moving
Mm.
in shadows and stuff like that. I mean, where do you get that from?
Well, I'll be
Where
willing
do you get
to.
it from?
I can accept that. I can accept that. I think. I think if I look at it from the perspective of Metal Gear Solid beating Hades, it's like we've got to give these old games their due, and then this last one here is a fucking doozy. Red Dead Redemption 2 versus Cyberpunk 2077. Good lord. I mean, for me,
I do.
two games that
Right, you
I
go first.
adore, right? Two games I
Mhm.
absolutely adore, and two games that I've played in the very, very, very recent past. So I'm thinking, I think Red Dead Redemption 2 has it over it because these are both two incredibly detailed worlds that offers you an insane amount of freedom, so much fun, made impeccably. Thing that splits it for me is the narrative experience of Arthur Morgan.
Yeah,
This is what V
yeah.
goes through. That's really it.
I think in a nutshell, you've just described my entire argument with it.
Yeah.
Is that as an experience, I loved Cyberpunk 2077, but I still have the emotional attachment to Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
Like, where honestly, on a daily basis, I think about playing it. And it's one of those moments where when it starts. But why? What a world, man.
I know. It's so but an agreement in Red Dead Redemption 2 progresses.
Aye, get it through.
Okay. So now this is where things start to get sweaty for both of us and for the listeners.
This all means nothing to me now that Stardew Valley's not on the list.
This,
I had peril, genuine heart peril, worried about it.
there is some daisies here in round 3. So we'll kick things off with The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt versus The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Oh,
This is, I think, for every single matchup we've got here, it probably depends on how you're feeling that day and how you woke up,
yeah,
where your mind is.
yeah.
So you could make an argument either way. And on this day, I think I'm going to lean towards Ocarina of Time just because I feel that it's just got that little bit of extra sparkle, specialness
Yeah,
that The Witcher
yeah,
3 Wild Hunt probably lacks.
yeah.
And it's not to
I
say
think
it's bad.
I think you're right. I do think you're right.
Yeah. I think it's like, what one is a better game? It just depends. I mean, that's such a subjective thing, but I can't. I think if I put the Wild Hunt over Ocarina of Time, people will be saying, you definitely are on the payroll at Witcher HQ.
CG Project Red, aye.
Exactly.
Sleeper agent.
He's biased. So, Legend of Zelda then, into the next round, Ocarina of Time.
Indeed.
One of the heavyweights progresses. So, next one we've got here. Baldur's Gate 3 versus The Last of Us Part 2.
Oh, I think this will split us.
That's exact same as I said beforehand. These rounds are just going to get insanely tough now as it goes. However, I think allow me to set out my stall, and I'll start with The Last of Us Part 2, which I think is a incredibly special game. The one thing that it's lacking is why I'm going to pick Baldur's Gate 3 over it, and that is player choice and freedom. And I think what that gives you in Baldur's Gate 3, that experience of literally being able to decide as you go and not feel that you're on rails in the same way that The Last of Us Part 2 has to be, because it's a very tight narrative experience. I feel that Baldur's Gate 3 has done something that you very rarely see in games, whereas The Last of Us Part 2, you could argue, is something that we've seen that structure a few times in games, even though they've did it better than a lot of others, which is why, as much as it pains me to say it, I would say the Baldur's Gate 3 goes to the next round in this.
I'm glad that you said it, because I don't need the internet coming after me. But I believe that's the second Last of Us game that Baldur's Gate 3 has taken out.
Ooh, let me just double check on that.
Because I said that Baldur's Gate 3 had you could literally, or was it The Witcher 3? Might have been The Witcher.
Was The Witcher 3? So Baldur's Gate 3 then progressing into
Utterly deserves it, just for having Astarion in it alone. You know what I mean? Like
Shadowheart as well.
Karlach. Well, yeah, that's it.
A tremendous game. Something, an experience that will be with you long after you play it. Well, both of them are. This is now. I feel like we lose as this could progresses now, because we're letting some amazing ones go back. But we'll move on to the next one, Scott, which is Bloodborne versus Metal Gear Solid.
oh God! If Scott Curry was a game.
Yeah, well, I think you have to kick this one off, man.
The
people deserve
this is a head and a heart choice, to be honest with you.
In
my head, the popular answer tells me that it's Bloodborne, because obviously Bloodborne, but my heart is telling me Metal Gear Solid, and it is purely because I absolutely love it. And to be honest with you, I'm going to stick with Metal Gear Solid on this. It's life changing, that game. Something so simple and so easy is just so good. And for talking sake, you could also say that Metal Gear Solid is the first Souls game. It's like a boss rush, because you're basically running to and from boss battles. That's literally all you're doing. So, I think I'm happy with that. I'm happy to say Metal Gear Solid, but the internet will crumble.
I would agree with you on that. I do. I think as much as these are two absolute old timers, myself here, it's Metal Gear Solid, I feel, just ages it because of the accessibility part of it as well. Because I think Bloodborne, the elephant in the room is, if you aren't willing to kind of get on its terms quickly, you will miss out on that experience. And that's why I think that can only carry you so far up the rankings here in this tournament, in this showdown. So Metal Gear Solid, you go into the next round. Next one here, we've got GTA San Andreas versus Mario Kart 8. Two polar opposites in terms of games. And
San Andreas probably.
I think so. I think San Andreas. Just in
terms, it's the same choice to make from earlier, where if we're looking at it from games that you'd like to pass down, Mario Kart 8 is a phenomenal experience and has everything that you would come to expect from a Mario Kart game.
Yeah,
it is the quintessential Mario Kart game, and I think we'll see that in the future. That it's going to be the Mario Kart game that everyone looks back on as being as like that is the Mario Kart. but San Andreas is San Andreas,
Mhm.
and it wins. So
Oh, shit, here we go again. GTA San Andreas, you're at the next round. This one is a fucking.
Ooh.
This one is an absolute belter. This one will divide corners of the internet that enjoy Nintendo, and that is Super Mario Brothers 3 versus The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. This is a generational battle here, Scott, of two heavyweights. Now, because we're old AF, I know we're going to be leaning towards Super Mario Brothers 3 on this. I know that. And I think we're correct. I'm probably correct to assume, but I think we're probably correct in that thinking. Are you
I think you're
swaying
right.
towards
I
Super
do. I
Mario
do
3?
think you're right. I think objectively speaking, objectively speaking, I personally think that Super Mario Brothers 3 is the best Mario game. Right?
Well, it is, yeah.
Full stop. But I don't think Tears of the Kingdom is the best Zelda game.
Mhm, mhm.
So that sort of swings it for me, is that I think the best Zelda game is on the list still, and in this showdown already. So, well, it's actually not, because Twilight Princess is obviously the best Zelda game, but the second best Zelda game, Ocarina of Time, is still on the list. So, I'm happy to put Super Mario Bros. 3 through. In fact, I'm ecstatic to put Super Mario Bros. 3 through.
Yeah, and I agree for the same reasons, but disagree with the Zelda one. It's also Majora's Mask, but yeah, it's Super Mario Brothers 3. Yeah, I mean it's got that timeless quality, and you could literally hand that to gamers of most skill levels. I mean, it's a little bit tough at
Yeah.
points, but I think Tears of the Kingdom, it can be probably a little bit more obtuse to get into, in terms of that's probably why it just didn't have the fight to go in here. But you're going up Super Mario Bros. 3. I mean, that is genuinely, it's an all timer, hence why
Yeah.
it's going through to the next round. So well done. And this last one here, to complete this round 3, Splinter Cell versus Red Dead Redemption 2. I feel that there's a lamb put to the slaughter here again, Scott. This is.
And another day, Splinter Cell would have had its time in the sun, but Arthur Morgan lives on.
It does. The legend, the man, the myth, the heartbreaking story. It goes on to the next round, Red Dead Redemption 2. So now we're into round 4 here, and I'm not really sure. Oh, yeah. So this is basically how we're going to be determining those semi-finals here. So we have up first The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time versus Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh, that is a bastard, that.
It really, really is.
I think start a sentence and stop it, because I can't think of what I'm trying to say. I think this is the moment where Legend of Zelda gets placed. I think I'm happy with this decision, because I think Baldur's Gate 3 wins this for me.
I agree. I think there is a big part of me, if I'm being brutally honest, as much as I love Ocarina of Time, it is probably, like you said, it's not the best Zelda game. But we both feel that. And I feel it's
Twilight
probably
Princess.
it's Spirit Tracks. It's well, basically what we're trying to say here is that it's probably ran out of gas a wee bit here at this point, which is fair enough. I think Baldur's Gate 3, if you haven't played it and you're listening to this going, how can you vote that over Ocarina? Play it and you'll find out. Like that's really it. And
The fact that both of us are sitting here, not seasoned D&D veterans, or players of those games in general, to be sitting here a few years after release being like, look, it's an experience you just have to do it. Like, I feel it feels like one of those games that you have to play. If you own a console that can play it, you owe it to yourself to play it. So yeah, 100%.
There is going to be a twist here for the semi-finals, which I'll get to in a second. So next round we have got Metal Gear Solid versus GTA San Andreas.
Oh,
It's a
God.
doozy.
Again, a game for each of us.
Like for me, I can't. These are two games I adore. It has to be Metal Gear Solid. It has to be.
Yeah.
I think it's,
it's in my head when you tell me it, I know it's Metal Gear Solid, but I'm trying to come up with an excuse to like put it as San Andreas. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? But yeah, if you look at the both of them, yeah, it's definitely Metal Gear Solid.
yeah. Okay, so Metal Gear Solid, you're up into the semis now. We've got next here is Mario Brothers 3, Super Mario Brothers 3 versus Red Dead Redemption 2. Yes, I know. It's pain. It's pain. This is this is one that's definitely like a generational thing for me again,
Mm-hmm.
and it's
Mm-hmm.
so tough because Super Mario Brothers 3 is a phenomenal game in its simplicity, its design, and what it refined about the Mario formula. The same way goes, Red Dead Redemption 2 is such a phenomenally designed game and it pushes the limits. You've got one which is all about the refinement and taking things like whittling it down. You've got another one which blew it, widened the cone, I suppose, of things to do in a way that was exponential that we've never seen. Probably won't see again because I don't think GTA 6 will get close. I think they'll probably
No,
dial it back a bit with Red Dead Redemption 2. But that being said, simplicity, keep it simple, stupid, I suppose, is always the way forward. And I'm thinking,
yeah,
is that why Super Mario Brothers 3 beats this one here?
I don't think you can put it down to that because I think that's just simple. Like I think it's just like that's the reason for it. Um, yeah, I think it's. I don't think I could sit here and in my heart of hearts tell you that if I wanted to pass take a game down to the next generations of gamers that I would give them Red Dead Redemption 2 because it almost kind of like it's like an undertaking at that point. But it feels like Super Mario Brothers 3 is the right game for this. Like
Mhm.
to look at a top 5 list of games that we would pass down, Super Mario Brothers 3 sitting high in that list, higher than Red Dead Redemption 2, almost just feels right. So I'm sticking with fucking Super Mario Brothers 3. Almost said Red Dead Redemption 2.
Well, yeah, I agree. I think Super Mario Bros. 3 is just one of those things that you just have to have and you have to appreciate. And all
Mm-hmm.
50 games in here, you do have to appreciate. But I think, for putting them up the ranking, which one wins this ultimate showdown, I will say from the offset now, we maybe have to come back and rank these things privately and probably update the listeners next episode because we won't
Fine.
have time. But we'll at least get to know who comes out on top of the top 50 showdown. So Mario Brothers 3, you go into the next round. Now, the way this is working, we need to basically give 2 games from those that have been knocked out another chance here to get into the semis, just because of the way math works. Because either way, if we don't do that, it means Super Mario Brothers 3 is getting a pass right to the final. So,
It
the
deserves it.
games, we need to pick 2 games from Ocarina of Time, San Andreas, and Red Dead Redemption 2.
You need to pick 2.
Mm-hmm.
Red Dead Redemption 2,
Mm-hmm.
San Andreas.
Okay. I'm going to accept that. I'm going to accept that. So,
It's funny,
Red
every
Dead.
single time Liam does like hand gestures on the screen, there's random things pop up. So it's like wee balloons going up on the screen like a happy birthday. But see if you put your thumbs up,
Uh-huh.
it gives me a thumbs up on your screen. It's hilarious.
Oh God, there's fireworks. I thought you've been doing that this whole time. I'm like, he's really gone for this in the effects. Um, so yeah, that's actually a really cool feature. So between the two of them, right? So what one's between Red Dead Redemption 2 and San Andreas? It's kind of like a lucky loser round.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Okay, so it's good because this way it works out rather fairly. So in the semi-finals, we have Baldur's Gate 3 versus Metal Gear Solid and a rerun of Super Mario Bros. 3 versus Red Dead Redemption 2. So I suppose
So it's this
Super
Super
Mario
Mario
Bros.
Brothers 3 gets through anyway, so that gets the buy.
That gets the bite. Now
Um,
we've got a question here between Baldur's Gate 3 and Metal Gear Solid.
I don't like this, Liam. I don't like it.
It's
Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear Solid. I feel it has to be. Yeah, I think just it's the impact side of things.
Yeah. I
That
think if
has
we
to weigh
look at
into it.
games that have had impact, Baldur's Gate 3 obviously has an impact and still does, but Metal Gear Solid 3 is still felt. Metal Gear Solid in general is still felt throughout the industry,
Yeah.
even to this day. So,
Well,
aye,
ladies and gentlemen,
quintessential game,
let's
Metal Gear Solid.
we'll take a little pause here because we've fought hard through a lot of fantastic games here. It's been 50 entries into that list. All of them are old timers. Every
This
single
is where we
one.
should have like the song in the background is like some say love.
We
It
should.
is.
We need like the WWE promo, just kind of like, this is the King of the Ring. This is the final thing. It's kind of
Hello, my friend, we'll meet again.
we need that. We need these two games talking trash to each other through the weeks. It's all come down to this final two games as we are about to crown the winner of the Pixel Pix Top 50 Showdown. Now, of those two games, Scott, and this is the final one, Metal Gear Solid versus Super Mario Brothers 3. Now, before we pick, because I'm wanting this to just kind of let things stew, build up the anticipation. Both of these games, between them, they've managed to knock out and to progress to this point. They've knocked out Red Dead Redemption, Baldur's Gate. They've also done the likes of San Andreas, Splinter Cell, Bloodborne. What else have they knocked out on their way there? Cyberpunk, God of War, Balatro, Hades, and finally, I think it all started way back then with Metal Gear Solid 4. So, I mean, they've earned their way into the final here. And the beauty of this fun format is that it could be different if we were on it again. This is the final we've got. This is one we've got to decide between, Scott. So you've got Metal Gear Solid versus Super Mario Brothers 3. What, in your opinion, should be number one?
I don't like it either. But again, this is number one and number two, so actually it doesn't feel that bad. Because, someone has to be number two. Take the nostalgia glasses off for a second, right? I think that as an experience, Metal Gear Solid pips it for me. But in terms of just joy and fun and exploration and investigation and, just sheer creativity, Super Mario Brothers 3 is also a clear winner. So again, this is one of those decisions where on a different day, if you ask me, what could it be? Then it could be either one of them. However, on this day, at this time, at this very moment where you're asking me this question, which is better, Super Mario Brothers 3 or Metal Gear Solid? My decision. This is like watching the end of I'm a Celebrity. Like, it's just taking forever to get to it. But no, I think the decision for me on this one is probably Super Mario Brothers 3.
Yeah. I mean, I'll look at the both of these here, and you've got two of the best games ever made. I mean,
Indeed.
Two of the best games of the top 50 best games ever made. Metal Gear Solid was remarkably ahead of its time in terms of the cinematic approach, the approach to the stealth, tactical espionage action. I suppose you want to say, but the approach to its gameplay, how it thought outside the box, it really was very clever, almost cerebral at points when it came out. And it's still, you've got to view it in that lens. I'm not going to do the old game as old because I'm glad that it's two older games that's up against each other here.
Yeah.
But I compare and contrast that to Super Mario Brothers 3. And again, it's just like, it is the essence of why we're here. Without that,
Yeah.
I don't think I would have played a Metal Gear Solid. Super Mario Brothers 3 you just get it, and it's
Yes.
so well made and so good in terms of like this is like a masterfully crafted game. And yes, it doesn't have those things like put it into controller port 2, and it's not going to have like commentary on the government, etc. Or
Yeah.
it doesn't have.
But it might do.
It might
I mean,
do.
it might do. We might not have just extrapolated that meaning from Super Mario Brothers 3.
I mean,
What is the allegory that what is the allegory that the Tanuki suit creates? Do you know what I mean? Like,
well, it might have its own tactical espionage action within there as well. In terms of like a bit,
it does. It does. In the first level where you drop behind that white block,
that's true.
you hide behind the bush.
Well, that's
The first ever stealth game.
And that's the point. Normally, it has its absolutely chock full of secrets within there.
Yeah,
and it has that kind of that playground culture thing back in the days. Like if you did this, you could do that, and it has its cast of characters that can stand toe to toe next to Metal Gear Solids, and I think the ones that it's in there beat it out. And I think I'm with you, which is Super Mario Brothers 3 should be the winner of this tournament.
Yeah, it definitely does. It definitely does stand toe to toe with Metal Gear Solid.
I like that. So there we have it then. So the winner of the Pixel Pix Top 50 Showdown is Super Mario Brothers 3. Well done. Well done. Claps all round. Clicking the fingers all round in celebration for them. That's what the hipsters do. Be honest, I looked at that top 50 and it's just this stramash of games that's coming at you, and I couldn't pick a winner. But standing back, looking at it, and I'm like, for our list, for one to stand on top of that mountain of fantastic games, I'm like, yeah, that feels right. That feels right to have.
It feels right. You made the decision earlier on, not even the decision, you made the point earlier on, the reminder is why we do the list, and it's games that we pass on to the next generation. And that is a game that the generation before us passed to us, Super Mario Brothers 3, and we're still passing it down because it's still as good as the day it came out. So
yeah,
it's an easy one. It is an easy one at the end of the day. And then, after they finish that, it's a quick game to finish. So go and play Metal Gear Solid afterwards. On you go.
Exactly. Well, congratulations then to Miyamoto. This is obviously the award that counts of the oodles of ones you've got.
I'll message him and let him know.
Just let him know. Just give me a wee text. WhatsApp him. Just let him know. Here, mate.
I'll let him know. Aye.
You're top of the top 50.
Sack off your Nintendo Direct, Tim. Sack off your Nintendo Direct and just have a swatch at this, mate.
Going to stop building theme park pish and just come collect your award. But yeah, listen, you're right. For what this podcast's about, that just feels like such a good fit. And do you know what? I thoroughly enjoyed that. It feels like over the past 50 plus weeks doing this podcast, to find self for it to kind of culminate in this. I suppose the next question really is what next. Now I do believe we have a plan. I sound like Dutch Van der Linde. I have a plan.
Like Dutch Van der Linde, I was going to say, geez,
but I think what we're going to do is continue this Pixel Pix Showdown and to the next 50. What does that look like? Because we want to expand the top 50 into the top 100, of course. So that's what we're going to do next.
Indeed.
But it does mean
we also need to think about what our birthday episode is going to look like.
Yes, that's fast approaching. It's fast approaching. Who knows? Actually, I'm pulling a fantastic.
It's not that.
It's not that. But it's, damn. You will understand in a few weeks, guys. Like there's something that
brewing.
There's something brewing. In fact, there's two things brewing. One thing's going to be that change of format at all, but something else is absolutely. I'll go into plan that's going to blow your minds because it's blown ours. We can't quite believe that it's going to happen, and that's all we're going to say because I don't want to jinx it. Because
we finally got Super Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. We're going to live stream it.
Live stream, just 24 hours of us playing that non-stop. Yeah, but stay tuned.
That is the charity stream for us. 24 hours of us playing Sonic and Mario at the Olympic.
So you call that a charity stream? I call that a punishment for a crime I've not committed. But yeah, listen, like you says, it's what a way. We've been doing this pretty much almost a year now. to kind of crown this Super Mario Brothers 3 top of the tree. If you're going to go on that list, we will find a way of kind of putting this out on our channels, what that top 50 looks like. So stay posted on that there. But yeah, looking back at it, Scott, how's that been, that first top 50? Have you found it?
Do you know, I'm actually glad you asked the question because not one Final Fantasy game.
There could still be a chance for that. Another 50 to go. I was
Indeed,
surprised though.
but
I was looking at that and
like,
thinking, did we not add one?
like not, yeah, apparently not. I was like, where's Final Fantasy 7 and all this? But you know, I'm glad that it wasn't there because it would have been a difficult sort of conversation to make. But I'm quite happy with that. Like, I think for 50 episodes we've managed to scrape these games out of our arse and come up with this list, and it makes sense. So
yeah,
actually seeing it, the fruits of our labour here, is quite nice.
Absolutely. And believe you me, for the next 50 ahead, there will be a scraping, but we'll have fun with it. You know, you're going to see it's a list of two halves. So the next 50 entrants in this top 100 list is going to be weirder, wackier, but it'll still make sense. It's not going to be something stupid, you know, like best game when you have blue shoes or something like that. We're going to make sense of it. That's the first thing that could come out of my head there.
I was like, what games have blue shoes in
it? Sonic. No, I suppose he's blue and red. This he's
red shoes.
But yeah, I digress.
Mario brown shoes. Fuck.
Maybe we should.
Listeners, if you managed to get this far, got to tell us who wears blue shoes in video games, because I can't think of it. Maybe Virgil from Devil May Cry.
Well, there you go. If you're listening on Spotify, please leave a comment. Let us know. It would be good to hear from you. But of course, that brings us to the end of this week's podcast. So thank you once again for joining us. And if you like what you hear and you enjoy the podcast, leave us a wee 5-star review. That helps us out massively and makes a big difference. Scott, it's test time. So where can our lovely listeners find you if they want to engage with you on Blue Sky?
I am on Blue Sky at llamaman.bsky.social.
There it is. I got it one.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to say about it today because I
he's broken, people.
Yeah, social meds.
For myself, if you want to follow me, you can get me at carmelite.bsky.social on Blue Sky. And of course, thank you to our producer and music man, the talented and handsome Mr. Sean Murray. Go show him some love. Check out his work on Instagram at Barehand Designs and barehanddesigns.com. Of course, that's BARE handdesigns.com. Now you can listen to the next episode on all major podcast platforms, and of course follow us on Blue Sky at pixelparents.bsky.social, and of course write to us at pixelparentspodcast@gmail.com. But until next time, stay safe, stay sane, and thank you for listening.
Mario and Sonic was robbed.